Thank you so much. Uh, Good morning, everybody. I welcome you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, I welcome you all on the second day of this wellness conclave. Today we have with us eminent Professor A.K. Gupta, sir. He is a homeopathic consultant gold medalist. He is a founder director of Om Vidya Institute of Homeopathic and Allied Medical Sciences. He has been accredited in Limca Book of Records. He is a visiting professor for B.R. Sur Homeopathic Medical College, Delhi. He is ex-chief guest professor of College of Homeopathy, UK. He has done special research in motor neuron diseases. He is the author of the book, The Problem Child and Homeopathy. He is a president, Homeopathic Medical Association of India. He has been awarded with so many awards, so many honors. Some of them are Dr. Hemant Award of Millennium, Dr. Yudhvir Singh Award, Lord Dhanvantari Award, Lifetime Achievement Award, and Bharat Excellence Award. He has been on air talk shows and even TV channel shows a lot of time. He has chaired the session in Wellness Conclave and also earlier, and he has given the slogan Homeopathy ensures health and safety. Thank you, Dr. Gupta. I welcome you and I request you to deliver the keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kalpana, for giving such a lovely introduction, which I do not know whether I deserve or not. First of all, really, it's heartening to start with the prayer of Lord Dhanvantari, who has been given this privilege to all the Ayurvedic doctors and the other doctors too. So, and in today's time, when everybody is feeling the problem because of the COVID problem, which is there. And the conclave, the wellness conclave has rightly taken up the step to talk about the regime in maintaining the wellness. And thanks, Dr. Pawan, Dr. Kalpana, and Dr. Dua, and Jatinji, and all the other dignitaries who are on the other side of the set, plus people attending this conclave. The maintaining the right wellness regime is key to staying healthy. And the coronavirus pandemic has affected millions of people worldwide. The adverse effects were not just on the economy, but also the mind and the body. One of the silent killers in the post-COVID-19 world is the anxiety that stems from the feeling of uncertainty that is plunging every affair right now on a global scale. Now, to talk about wellness, what is wellness? Wellness is nothing but the feeling of being well physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is the absence of any disruption in the normal functioning of the body mechanisms to maintain health. These are the dimensions, 6 dimensions which we see of wellness, which require environmental, emotional, intellectual, physical, social, and spiritual. How to optimize your daily routine for optimum health is the main concern as on date. As you've been already seeing in the past, and every day, we keep on reading, seeing in the TV and all that, that we need to adopt healthy habits. And healthy habits are one which most of the people but still it would not be out of the place to, reconsider those things, that 9,000 steps, 8 hours of sleep, just grow from 10 to 1, 9, 7 glasses of water, 6 minutes of meditation, 5 servings of fruit and vegetables, 4 breaks, stretching and mental, 3 meals and 3 healthy snacks, 2 hours of no phone before bed, and 1 session of exercise. Though we say today that 2 hours of no phone before bed is saying is easy, but in today's time, it's little rather difficult to practice because everything is going online. Like, we are, this particular, conclave is being also done on a virtual manner. So, again, but when the time is absolutely fine, it would be certainly advisable that one should keep away from the phone as far as possible, especially the screen time for the children. It is very important they should avoid. But since in this lockdown period and this time of COVID, online is the key point where everyone has to do. So we have to make some compromises. The anywhere workout, quick little workouts that can stand alone or complement a cardio workout, that which you can read, is I need not to read out all that. The point of keeping your being well is the most important. Now, what are the changes in your daily routine which can give a big health boost? Add 4-5 grams of fiber to your daily meal plan. Cut out refined carbohydrates such as white bread, white rice, and sweets. Avoid foods and trans fats. Add 2 more servings of veggies at lunch and dinner. Drink 3 more glasses of water each day, and 10 minutes of walking to your daily exercise regime. Take a break every hour at a work and walk around 500 steps in place, or 2,000 steps, which burns around 100 calories, and wake up 15 minutes earlier and walk before work. These are a few points which one can always follow. As we have been seeing in Ayurveda, they have a special timing for Kapha, Pitta, Vata, and this is the slide which really gives us the insight of our routine from sunrise. 6 a.m. when you got up, Brahm Muhurat, wake up time. Then in the morning routine, you have got, a noon time. Pitta is the time which is become more prominent. Strong lunch, wrapping up the day in the evening, sunset, evening routine, bedtime, and midnight sleep is the, again, very, very important aspect of our life. The people who are not able to sleep comfortably and properly, they do suffer some kind of a problem in one way or the other. Now, these are another steps, like when we say, talk about the health and wellness, it is important that we, apart from the physical, our mental health has to be taken into account. And to create a routine for, promote good mental health, there are a few steps: a set bedtime and wake up time, a healthy breakfast, time to blow off steam, exercise, taking medication at the same time daily, prioritize your do list, appreciate what's good in your life, adequate sleep, fun and simple pleasures, build and enjoy your relationships. As we say, like, your body is what actually your mind, thinks of. Your body behaves in that particular manner. So keeping your mind active and normal is much more important. There are a few other ways to keeping yourself well-being: is being active, take notice of everything, remain connected, have the feeling of giving, and keep learning. Never think that whatever you have achieved and what you have seen is enough, because knowledge and this thing, like if you just go for this today's present time. Till last year, nothing was known about Corona or the COVID-19. Now the 2020 has almost at the fag end of the finishing off. Now we got another strain which is coming from UK. So it's a continuous process which we need to learn and to keep yourself active and keep yourself healthy. In today's time, integration is the need of the hour. This will help in bringing about an architectural correction and reinforcement in the existing public healthcare delivery system with the holistic approach. Here I would like to mention that the Om Vidya Institute of Homeopathy and Allied Medical Sciences was the first one which had taken up this step of integration, where we had all homeopathy, allopathy, acupuncture, Reiki, all systems under one roof. Because what I feel, it was my idea which I conveyed, that every system has got something to offer, but every system has got limitations also. But if we are able to integrate, which will be in the interest of the suffering patients and humankind. Time-tested, natural, safe, and friendly remedies which are extremely effective in maintaining health and wellness need to be introduced in the households to not only prevent diseases but also avoid unnecessary heavy medication. Integration would also help in wider utilization of Ayush, both domestically and globally. Now, coming to myself being a homeopathy consultant and being in the various positions of homeopathy, I would definitely like that what homeopathy can contribute and has got to offer as far as the wellness part is concerned. Homeopathy works to stimulate your body's own natural ability to heal itself. And Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, the founder of homeopathy, in his book, Friend of Health, way back in 1791, recommended the use of fresh air, bed rest, proper diet, sunshine, public hygiene, and numerous other beneficial measures at a time when medical science that time did not consider these of any values. Those were the times when things were done in practice of leeches and practice of crude medication were there, and this was the time when Dr. Hahnemann, who had given a natural way of healing to the humankind. Homeopathy maintains wellness. Our body always gives some signs before it really becomes sick and the person becomes diseased. As we say, disease is nothing but the person feels dis at ease. He is not comfortable from within. There's something, which he feels on a mental plane. He's not feeling comfortable, but he's not able to express what exactly it is. And if the things keep on going, then it does take part in the physical manner, or it takes into the physical plane and start getting some kind of a headache, some kind of a discomfort. And the headaches, if again not resorted to, can lead into migraine, lead into other problems. And when the fever is there, when the other things are there, which can be seen by virtue of your, laboratories and all that, then we start saying that yes, the person is sick, a person is diseased from such and such problem. The problem which had started from mind has led into the manifestation into the physical side. So if we are able to pick up things at the discomfort level, which homeopathy indeed is, very much capable of, because homeopathy deals in this, from the point called discomfort, which is being expressed by the patient, has the certain remedies for those particular things, and the patient would become better and all right, and can be, prevented from getting the further disease. These signs are nothing but a manifestation of the deranged vital force, or we call it vital energy, which if ignored can turn into a full-blown pathology and hence a disease. Homeopathic medicines, if administered at the very beginning of such signs, a state where you don't really see anything in your blood reports, but inside your know that you are not feeling 100% well, then definitely a disease can be prevented to occur in the particular person. Well, here I would definitely like to add on, if things are taken at such a plane and taken into account, we can prevent a number of diseases to happen, which cause much more problem. and sort of problem later on, even ensuing deaths also. Homeopathy is a medicine where we go on individualistic approach, like unlike a modern system of medicine where the pathology or the diagnosis is the base of treatment. Once the diagnosis has been made, and irrespective of any person and all that, everyone is being treated or given the same kind of a medication. Whereas in homeopathy, this is the, unique part and the best part of homeopathy's individualistic approach, where even if 5 or 6 patients who are suffering from the same disease need not to be treated by the same medicine and may not require the same medicine, because the constitution of the same 6 individuals are different. And when the treatment is given on individualistic and in a characteristic or as well as constitutional way, it helps the patient and eradicates the problems from within and cures. Whereas when we do it in a physical approach, in a pathological manner, it suppresses the problem. The difference between homeopathy is it cures from within and goes outwardly. Ideally, homeopathic treatment is tailored to each person in the case, because practitioners select medicines according to a total picture of the patient, including not only physical symptoms, but also lifestyle, emotional, and mental state, and other factors. Like, for example, I just give you an example. A person who is suffering from migraine, usually people suffer from migraine, they want, lights to be switched off, noise should not be there, and they want to take rest. But there are certain patients who feel comfortable, who feel better once they go out where there's a lot of sound and noise. They feel better, in strong light. So this is the one thing which is simply very, very characteristic of that particular individual. And that particular patient would require a different kind of a medicine from the people, those who feel better, because this is again a normal, phenomena, normal, symptom of the migraine. When you want complete rest, you want darkness, you want, no noise. Similarly, patients of rheumatoid arthritis, where you have got a morning stiffness, works with the first movement and winters. But there are patients who feel comfortable, who feel better when they start walking. So those are the symptoms of the patient becomes more important than the symptoms of the disease. Once we are able to, make this, demarcation of the symptoms of the person, of the patient, the medicine is selected on that basis, and it gives the best of results. And as we've been talking about, the treatment part, homeopathy is one again in the preventive aspect also. And today is the time when I think the government and the whole WHO, instead of looking for the spending so much amount of money in treating, they should have been looking from the preventive aspect, how the prevention can be taken from the diseases, so that as it is called, it is always told prevention is better than cure. The much more effort, the much more, money, much more, work should have been done and looked into to prevent the disease. And in fourth aphorism, that was around in 1810 of Organon of Medicine, the father of homeopathy, Dr. Hahnemann, talks about an important aspect of natural medicine philosophy as well as conventional medicine, which is a preventive healthcare. So this is not a new aspect of preventive aspect. It has been talked about much long before by Dr. Hahnemann. Preventive healthcare aims to protect, promote, and maintain health and well-being by preventing disease in the first place. Here, Dr. Hahnemann says that health can be preserved if we know the factors that derange health and how to remove them while a person is healthy. What we call is, in case there are a lot of, hurdles, a lot of problems, so obstacles to recovery need to be taken care of. This is the aspect which I just wanted to share with you, all of you, about the homeopathy part as far as the wellness is concerned. And if we talk in general, if you listen to your body when it whispers, you won't have to fear its screams. And today, I feel it would be much more better if we invest in the wellness so that we don't have to spend for our illness. With this, I would like to convey my thanks to all of you for giving me such an opportunity to talk about share my thoughts of wellness with you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gupta ji. It was an excellent presentation, excellent introduction to homeopathy for the people who, like us, who are not much aware about the homeopathy. There was something, where I met one of the, mothers, and she was telling me, she likes homeopathy. And to the ground level, one more thing, she likes it just because there are sweet pills, which they can be palatable and they can pop up easily, okay?
That's what sweet pills to eat and sweet behavior to admire.
Yeah. And the kids, therefore, they also like it. Kids are very much, it's a user friendly medicine as well as it is definitely effective. But